Introduction to Multiplication and Division. Your learning target today is I can make equal groups to be introduced to multiplication and division. And you'll know you're successful when you can organize objects into equal groups by equally sharing objects among groups and record your thinking. So you should have watched the read aloud of the book 100 Hungry Ants. And in that book, I hope that you noticed a pattern going on. They were trying to make 100, but by doing it in different ways, right? With the lines of ants. Well, multiplication and division are a lot like that, where we share a big number and then we have to share it among groups so that every group has to be the same. And in the case of the ants, the lines had to be the same. So with 100, I heard 4 different ways of making 100. What were those 4 ways that you heard? With our first one, it said 2 lines of 50, right? Because 50 plus 50 is 100. What were some of the other ways? I know that they said 4 lines of 25, and then 5 lines of 20, and then 10 lines of 10. What do those all have to do with 100? Well, those are all different ways of making 100, and I'm going to show you that with a number, there are so many different ways to make 100 when we multiply or divide by equally sharing or putting them in equal groups so that we're dividing that number among groups and then they're the same. So let me show you with like 2 lines of 50 how that would look, and then I'll show you with the rest, and then we're going to have a fun activity today where you'll get to try it on your own. So there were 100 ants, right? And they said in 2 lines of 50 they made that 100 ants. So those 2 lines I'm representing as 2 groups, okay? That's what the big circles are for. And then I put 50 ants or 50 dots in each group. 50 plus 50 equals 100. So that would be a picture that would match that. And then 50 plus 50 equals 100 would be a number sentence I could use. Or if I wanted to challenge myself, I could think of a multiplication sentence where that would be true. 50 plus 50, the same as doing that would be to say 50 times 2 equals 100. Why did it have to be 2 lines of 50? Why not 2 lines of 55? Or why not 2 lines of 30? Why did it have to be 50? Well, think about what makes 100. Okay, if it was like 2 groups of 30, right? What would that be? Would it be 100? 30 plus 30? No, that's 60. And what about like 2 lines of 55, right? Well, 55 and 55, that's too much. That's not 100. It has to be equal to 100. So when 50 and 50 are put together, they're 100, right? If we split 100 twice, it has to be a group of 50 here and a group of 50 there. That is what would make 100. So today, really be thinking about what I am doing as I'm looking at my groups and making sure that each group has the same number in each group. And sometimes it doesn't work, right? Sometimes I'm like 1 off. I have to make sure that each one is the same, or else it is not true and they are not equal. Each group needs to be equal. So when they said they could make 100 by doing 4 lines of 25, I could make 4 groups with 25 in each group, right? 25 ants. And when there's 4 groups of 25, that equals 100 ants. So just like with that, my groups are equal, and then that creates a math problem. A number sentence could be 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 equals 100, right? Or since I have 25 in there 4 times, that's the same as saying 25 times 4. What about when it said 5 lines of 20? Again, I'm going to make 5 groups, and then I made sure that 20 was in each group. When I have that 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20, when I add that 5 times, of course we get 100. And then that's the same as saying the number sentence 20 times 5 equals 100. For the last way, remember it said in the book 10 lines of 10. So what do? I make 10 groups and I put 10 in each group. What would be a number sentence that I could use? An addition number sentence. What do you think? Think about how many groups I have and then what number is in each group. We would have 10 plus 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 10. Oh my goodness, that equals 100, right? When I add 10 times. Or, what would be a multiplication sentence? 10 times 10 equals 100. So your job today is based on our book, 100 Hungry Ants, and based on those equal groups that we were talking about. I want you to get 20 of the same object. So if you are in class, you might get 20 cubes. Okay, or if your teacher has something else, they will give you that. So you could use, if you're at home or at school, counters, which are like bingo chips. You could use marbles, you could use crayons, you could use anything that you have 20 of the same object. Okay, so that's going to be the first part. The second part is that you are going to use a recording sheet to record or write down all of the different combinations that you can do where you are sharing your 20 cubes equally. Okay, just like with the ants, we put the ants in equal groups, right? And we could do that a lot of different ways, right? With the number 100. Well, with the number 20, I want you to see how many times you can make sure that with your 20 cubes, you're splitting and sharing those 20 into equal groups, okay? And there are lots of different combinations. I will say there are 6 different combinations that you could find and see what you could come up with. So again, you're going to get 20 cubes or 20 of the same object, and your job will be to share them equally, right? Do that with your cubes or your objects first, and then on your recording sheet, you can draw out that picture of what that looked like of your equal groups, or you could give me a number sentence. And with the number sentence, you can give me an addition problem, right? What we're adding together to make 20, making sure it's the same number. Or you could even challenge yourself and give me the multiplication sentence. And remember, we did that with our book, 100 Hungry Ants. So if you saw what I did, I drew out the picture and I gave a number sentence. You can do that. If you want to give me both, that's even better. So try to see how many combinations you can come up with and have fun. So remember, your learning target today is I can make equal groups to be introduced to multiplication and division. And you'll know you're successful when you can organize objects into equal groups by equally sharing objects among groups and record your thinking.